Jordan's King Abdullah II issued a stern warning to U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken during their meeting in Amman on Friday. The Hashemite court stated that the king cautioned against any Israeli attempts to forcibly displace Palestinians from the Palestinian Territories or internally displace them. This statement reflects Jordan's concerns about the situation in Gaza and the potential for increased tension in the occupied West Bank, which could lead to an influx of Palestinian refugees into Jordan. It's important to note that a majority of Jordan's population is of Palestinian descent, and recent protests in Jordan have shown support for Hamas and the people of Gaza, historically. During the 1948 war between Israel and several Arab countries, a significant number of Palestinian refugees either fled or were forcibly displaced by the Israeli military. There was a second, albeit smaller, wave of Palestinian refugees who fled the West Bank during the 1967 war between Israel and Arab countries. Many of these refugees from both waves ended up in Jordan, with some still residing in refugee camps. In a significant development, Israel informed the United Nations that approximately 1.1 million Palestinians living north of Wadi Gaza should evacuate to the southern part of the Gaza Strip within 24 hours. The Jordanian military responded by placing roadblocks on the main roads leading to Israel and dispersing Jordanians attempting to reach the border. King Abdullah's statement, as released by the Hashemite court, stressed the importance of preventing the displacement of Palestinians and the exacerbation of the refugee issue, emphasizing the need to avoid a spillover of the crisis into neighboring countries. During his visit to Jordan, Secretary of State Blinken discussed efforts to secure the release of hostages and prevent further escalation of the conflict. They also explored ways to address the humanitarian needs of civilians in Gaza, while acknowledging Israel's need to conduct legitimate security operations to defend itself from terrorism. Following the meeting with King Abdullah, Blinken met with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, who also expressed his concerns about the forced displacement of Palestinians from Gaza, referring to it as a potential second Nakba, a term denoting the displacement of Palestinians during the events leading to Israel's establishment in 1948. Abbas highlighted the humanitarian crisis in Gaza due to the suspension of most civilian services, including electricity. Blinken extended his condolences to the families of Palestinian civilian victims in the conflict and reiterated the U.S. position that Hamas does not represent the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people. The Biden administration has pressed Abbas to condemn Hamas's killing of Israeli civilians, which he had not done prior to this meeting. Abbas expressed his opposition to the killing of civilians on both sides and called for the release of Israeli civilians held hostage in Gaza, as well as Palestinian prisoners in Israeli jails.